right hand side, I can very easily do that. Another example is, let's say, for example, I did not want my Microsoft Store icon there on my taskbar anymore at all. I can very easily right-click on that and choose Unpin from Taskbar. You'll also note that when I right-click on these icons, I get a whole bunch of other additional tasks associated with that application. But I'm going to go ahead and unpin this. Now, the next thing you may want to do is customize the taskbar as a whole. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our taskbar settings. So we do that by simply right-clicking in a gray area down here, and you'll see my first choice here is my taskbar settings. Now, that's going to take us to the settings as a whole of Windows 11. So I come to this, and you'll notice here I'm in my personalization section and the subsection of taskbar. Now within this section, I have a bunch of other subsections, my taskbar items, my system tray icons, as well as a few others down below. Now from here, I can adjust what taskbar items I want to show or not show, or show them in different ways. So currently, I have my search option set to be the search box. Well, let's go ahead and tinker with that a little bit. I click on that, and you'll notice here I can choose hide, and then now that goes away. Maybe you don't want it there anymore, or maybe you want it to be a little bit smaller with just a magnifying glass. You can see here is another one, and then finally back to my original one. Very easy to do. You'll also notice here is this option for Copilot. Copilot is Microsoft's artificial intelligence tool, and you'll see it's down there in the lower right. If you're choosing not to use that at all, you can very easily turn that off. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on again. Your task view allows you to multitask and see all of your open applications all in one window. Some people may prefer that. And then finally, you have your widgets down below. So if you hover your mouse over it, it's going to show you a whole bunch of recent news items, your stocks, weather, etc. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. And then you can see here, I can turn that on or off. I'm going to keep it on for the remainder of this lesson. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, you'll see some other options here. For example, your taskbar behaviors. Well, if I click on that, you'll notice here I have the option to choose my alignment. So if I change that from center to left, notice how everything shifts over to the left, and then I'll go ahead and hit on center. Now you can see it comes right back to center. And then I also have the option to automatically hide my taskbar. That's going to give me a little more screen real estate on my screen. Therefore, when I choose that, it then goes away unless I move my mouse back over it and it reappears. I'm going to go ahead and disable that and bring it back so it's no longer hidden. You'll also notice this option for other system tray icons. You'll see down in the lower right, those are my system tray icons. If I wanted to add on more for quick and easy access to some of these other tools within Windows, I can very easily do that. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Now let's go ahead and explore the Start menu. When I click on the Start menu, you'll notice here I have two sections. I have my Pin section and I have my Recommended section. Well, my Pin sections are all about giving me access to different apps as well as potential different folders. And then down below, this is Windows' way of telling us, hey, listen, we've seen that you've been working on these different documents. We're going to give you quick and easy access to them. If I wanted to see all my apps from here, I can simply click on All Apps. And you'll see this is going to have all my apps right here. Now, from here, you'll notice that if I wanted to right-click on any of these, it's going to give me a whole bunch of options here to unpin from Start. I can go to More, see some other options right there, uninstall it, as well as see some recent documents I've been working on, again, for quick and easy access. You'll also notice that there's these little pins that pop up every once in a while, allowing me to pin this so it remains there until I unpin it. Let's go ahead and go back. And now let's see what happens when we go over here to Recommended. I'll click on More, and you'll see I get something very similar. And then if I right-click on this, you can see I have other options here, such as removing from my list. Let's go ahead and go back. And now what's really nice, just like how we saw with our taskbar, we have the ability to also move these around. So for example, if I want to have the snipping tool to be the first option, I can just simply click and drag that, and then notice how that just shoves over, and now I can drag that to be the first thing. Another option I have here is to group these icons. So you'll notice here how Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel are all part of Microsoft Office. I'd really like to group them, thereby saving a lot more screen real estate, but then also categorizing them. So very simply, all I do is click and drag, and then until they're right on top of each other, I let go. Click and drag, and then wait for it to be on top of it, and now I have this thing that are all grouped together. Notice it's now called Folder. I'm very simply just going to click on it now and then edit the name, and I'm just going to type out MS Office, and then very simply click away, and then I have a category. Now let's go a little bit deeper into our Start menu by seeing how we can customize that even further. And that's as simple as another right click. I right click and you can see here I have my start settings available to me. Now that's going to take me once again to my Windows 11 settings in my personalization section. And you'll see here I have this start section. And they do give you some options in terms of how you might want to present your start menu with more pins or more recommendations. And we've already explored that, so it's really up to you depending on, do you have more apps that you want to work with, or you have more recommendations with working with different documents. Kind of nice. Now if we scroll down a little bit, you have these little toggle switches that's going to allow you to show your recently added apps if you want that, or you can just very easily turn that off. Again, giving you a little more screen real estate for more important things. Do you want to show most used apps? Again, you can turn that on or off. And of course, you can go ahead and explore some of these other ones like showing recently opened items, jump list, and your file explorer. Your jump list, you're going to see that when you right click on them, you'll see some other options there. I do want to see my file explorer, which we're going to examine just a little bit further in a little bit. And then let's come down here to folders. And this is one of, I think, the more valuable parts of this, because this is going to give me quick and easy access to certain folders I may not have easy access to ordinarily. So when I click on this, you're going to see how all of these are now unchecked. Meaning, you know what, I'd like to get to my settings very quickly. Well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. My File Explorer, I want to get to that quickly through the Start menu, as well as my documents and my downloads. Notice you have other options here down below, but I'm pretty happy with that. So let's just see what that's going to look like now. I click on the X to get out of it. I'm going to click back on my little start icon there, and you'll notice that way down on the bottom now is my documents, my downloads, my File Explorer, and my settings. Pretty cool. Again, a lot of customization options to give you more control. I'm going to go ahead and click away from that, and now let's see how we can customize and personalize our desktop. So very simply now I'm going to right click again, but I'm going to right click here on the desktop in an empty space. And you'll see that when you right click, you get a lot of really helpful options like how you want to view your icons, maybe you want to sort them, you want to create new folders, etc. But I'm going to come over here to personalize. And this takes me once again into my settings for my personalization options. The first section up on top here is the ability to select a theme. Believe it or not, you are working within themes within Windows 11. And that's going to change maybe your background, different colors, potentially different fonts, etc. And it's going to do sort of an overarching change. So let's say, for example, I'm going to choose this one, dramatically different. And you'll see here how everything changes. My taskbar changes, my desktop changes, all kinds of different colors now change. Let's try another one. Click on that one, and then notice how everything again changes. Now, if you wanted to get even more custom control, you can change your background image to be something else on your desktop. So when I choose that, if I wanted to make it so it's a different picture altogether, or maybe a solid color, maybe a slideshow, Windows also offers a different spotlight for a variety of different images day by day. Or you can even choose your own photo from your computer and then make that be your background. Let's go ahead and get back out of this. Let's go back to personalization up on top here. You can also change your lock screen images, apps, and animation. So if I click on that here, you'll see here, this is what it's going to look like when you are logging in with your username and password. And again, they're going to give you all kinds of other options. How do you want to see that when you get to this screen? Let's go ahead and go back to personalization. And you'll see here they give you another chance to then do some customization on your start menu and your taskbar as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get out of this. Now let's go ahead and explore this area in the lower right hand corner known as my Action Center. When I click on that, you'll notice here that all of these little icons appear, allowing me to then control a lot of my different settings very quickly and easily. So notice here I can access my Wi-Fi information, I can add Bluetooth items right from here, but also see what Bluetooth items are now accessible. I can turn on airplane mode, battery saver, etc. I can also control the brightness of my screen from here, as well as my audio. You'll also notice that to the lower right hand side here is the ability to change the audio output for you in case you're working with more than one audio output like a speaker, headphones, etc. Let's go ahead and go back one step. And now what I'm going to do next is show you how you can customize this, because certain things you may not want, certain things you may want. So let's go ahead and click on my little pencil icon here, and you'll see here that as soon as I do that, they're giving me the ability to pin or unpin certain elements that are in this section. So let's say I do not want to project anymore. I can very easily uncheck that. I'll go ahead and unpin this one. Very good. And you know what? I never used my rotation lock. I'm going to go ahead and unpin that as well. Now, if you change your